Hello, my name is Kyle Hall, and I am a Development Support Specialist for Bywater Solutions. Today I'm going to give you an overview of the Libki Kiosk Management System and how it works. You can see here on my desktop I have a Windows 7 virtual machine running, and it is running the Libki client, and I also have a web browser open which shows the Libki web administration. There are two parts to the web administration. There is the internal administration part, which I will log into now. And from here, you can see there are two main views. There is a user's view, which lists all of the users in your Libki system. And there is also a client's view, which shows you all of the registered client machines on your network. You can see here I have a single client, which is the virtual machine that I am running. And right now you can see that nobody is logged into it, as there is no username or status. Let's go ahead and create a new user. You can see there's a default number of minutes set. Minutes are used by any client, so a user can log into one Libki client and use, let's say, 30 minutes and log out, and later on go to another client and use the last 15 they have. They can also request that a Libki administrator add more minutes to their time. So let's go ahead and create our user. And now we will switch to the client here and log in. And here you see the timer comes up, and now the person can use this computer. So if we go back here and we take a look at our clients, you can see that now we have a client logged in to this machine. So from here, the client's view, you can forcefully log someone out, and you can also modify their time. So if we wanted to set someone to have 90 minutes, we could do 90. Or if we wanted to add 10 minutes to whatever time they had, we can do plus 10. So you see, it immediately updated their minutes to 54 minutes. And if we go look at our machine, you can see it updated to 54 there as well. In the user's view, you can edit users, so you can change the minutes they have, and you can change their status. You can disable a user such that they cannot log in, and if they attempt to log in, it will tell them to see an administrator for whatever reason that their account was disabled. You can also add notes for a user. You can also make a user administrator from here, or you can make them a super administrator. The only difference between the two primarily is that a super administrator can modify the system settings while a regular administrator cannot. So in addition to being able to create users, you can also create guests. So if you allow walk-ins, that people that do not have accounts already, and you want to be able to quickly get them logged in, you can just click the new guest button, and it creates a user. It starts off with guest 1, then the second is guest 2, and so on. And each night those are restarted from guest 1. And it creates a 4-digit password, which I've been calling a PIN number, and it uses the default amount of minutes that you have set in your preferences. So if we go into settings, you can see the various system settings. You can choose a default time allowance. You can choose a post-crash timeout, which is if a Libki client crashes for some reason, the server will wait 1 minute without a response before automatically logging them out from the server so that they can log into a new computer. You can choose the client behavior. There are 3 different behaviors. The first is first come, first serve, where a person can walk up to any computer that is not being used and log in and start using it. Reservation only, where the person first has to go to the public web interface and create a reservation for a computer before they can log into that computer, and then a combination of both, where a person can either walk right up and log into a computer, or they have the option of placing an advanced reservation. That is very useful if you want to allow reservations during heavy use periods, but still want people to be able to just walk up and use a computer when they aren't so busy. So farther down, we have our reservation settings, where we have a reservation timeout of 15 minutes. So if someone reserves a computer and it becomes open, they will have 15 minutes to go and log into that computer, or their reservation will automatically be canceled so the next person can use it. And you also have the option of displaying usernames. By default, it will just say, this client is reserved, but you have the option of saying this client is reserved for, and then display the username of the person, which can be helpful for someone who doesn't remember which computer they reserved. You can also do third-party integration. This specifically works with Koha, though it could work with any other ILS or software where you can do a search for a username. So you put in a specific URL here, and it will append the username to the end. With Koha, it makes it very easy to look at who's logged into the computers and click a link and be able to see their record right in Koha very quickly. You can also see there is a history section which lets you view all of the various activity of the server, who logged into what computers at what times, when they logged out, and things like that, so that you can, if you need to find out when someone was using a particular computer, you can do that. There is also a basic statistics table, which lets you view usage over time on a daily basis, broken down by locations. Each client can have a location so that you can logically group clients, let's say by computer lab, main floor, or however you want to logically group your computers. You can also ignore the location system if you have a small, simple system where you only have a few computers in a single location. You can also choose the date range on which to display these. So let's go look at the public interface. Here you can only see one computer on the public interface because we only have one computer logged in. If we had more, you would see a list, and they can also be broken down by location. So you can also see that we have reservations enabled. So I can go ahead, I will create a new user. Let's go over here. I'll go ahead and use a guest account. And now I have reserved that for guest 3. You can also cancel a reservation if someone decides that they don't want to go through with their reservation. All they do is have to type in their password again, because we already know who reserved that computer. And if we were to log out of this one, so we can go ahead and log out. You can see that now it shows that it is reserved, and only the person who reserved it can log in. So you saw that it logged out. When I logged out of Libki, you can actually control that kind of behavior. There are 3 ways to set it. You can either have it do nothing, in which case it simply redisplays the Libki login. You can have it log out like I did there, or you can have it reboot. So that allows it to work well with various freezing programs, such as Deep Freeze, which requires a reboot to erase all the history of the computer, or Clean Slate, which only requires a logout. And that is the long and short of it. I hope this has been informative. Once again, my name is Kyle Hall, and this has been a Bywater Solutions production.